I don't know. Is it gonna let me? I think it will. Okay. So yeah, that's one thing that you have to do. Oh, it's being stubborn. Dang it. There we go. Okay. So I'll just work my way back. This is pretty boring. Let's see. It's kind of hard to do these directions backwards. It's like really weird. But I'll throw another station platform in just so I can get the maximum number of boats. Hopefully I have as many as you can get. I'm not sure what the maximum number is, but you always want to make your station platform as long as you can make it, and that way you can get more people on your ride. Okay, go ahead and open it, and I'm gonna make it $1. Hopefully that's fair enough price that people will ride it. And for a boat hire, you can only have up to 2 passengers on the boat. So I'm just gonna wait until I get 2 people to go ahead and let people take off, because there's not really any point in just having one person. You may as well wait for the 2 people. You should have no problem doing that. So, yeah, and let's see. I'm gonna look real quick and see what people are thinking about this. They're saying it's too intense, and that's to be expected. It did get a 7.1 intensity rating, which is fairly high. One thing you can do with intense roller coasters, you can try and bump up the excitement rating by adding trees, which I'm going to do because I like to throw in trees on my roller coasters. I'm just going to put a whole bunch of them all over the place. And then I'll change trees and do it again and just throw them everywhere. So yeah, 5.49, that's the number I remember for my previous excitement rate. I'm going to try and beat that and get something a little higher. We'll see if I get anything better. Yeah, keep going, just keep adding trees. And with the previous park that I did, the Dynamite Dunes, I did trees that kind of fit with the the pre-existing desert. Um, and you can kind of use your own judgment, but with this, it's more of like it's a park that's got trees already, and it's all grass and stuff. So I feel like doing anything else just doesn't really make that much sense. So I'm just gonna do it this way. Yeah, I'm just kind of throwing in a whole bunch of trees. So yeah, just filling everything in. And then maybe a couple of these, just kind of fill in all the rest of the space. And yeah, let's see, 5.49, 5.62. So I got the excitement rating up just a little bit. And the nice thing about that is it doesn't increase either of your other 2 ratings, so hopefully it'll increase the number of people that will ride your ride. I'm just a little bit worried that that's too intense, but I think as I get more guests, it'll be pretty popular and people will keep riding it forever and ever. So let's take a quick look at research. I'm going to take away scenery and theming and ride improvements because I'm just going to throw trees in for my scenery, and I don't really care about ride improvements for this type of a park. If you have really advanced rides, like if you start with a park that gives you like really cool roller coasters off the start, and you don't have to get roller coasters to get your park going, then I would go ahead and add the scenery, or sorry, the ride improvements, because you can make your roller coasters even cooler or build kind of fancy ones and stuff like that. But with this, I don't have any roller coasters yet, so I don't want to improve rides that suck, and then yeah, I just want to get the good roller coasters first, and then maybe later I will add the ride improvements. But yeah. Other thing is, this is a pretty intense coaster. So at the exit, I like to throw a bathroom. So I'm gonna put one like right here at the exit, and that should be good. Yeah. So what do we have? We have a boat hire and a roller coaster and 100 guests, and we have a scrambled eggs. So I'm gonna throw a merry-go-round, and then I'm just gonna let it run for like a year because there's not really that much going on in this park, and I feel like it's gonna be boring to keep doing stuff. So the only things that you're really gonna need to do are, after I get this up, hire some handymen to cover your pads. Oh, and I'm out of money. Um, and they're just gonna keep your pads clean, and then hire mechanics to inspect your rides. Since you've set all these rides with this 10-minute inspection, you need to keep that going. So with my merry-go-rounds, I like to do the minimum number of rotations so that I get better circulation and more people are able to ride it. And then I'm gonna do the same thing, 30-second wait, and we'll make it 70 cents. So okay, mechanic, and then some handyman. And this is another park like Forest Frontiers that has grass, and unless you uncheck the mow grass, they're just gonna keep mowing the grass, and they're never gonna get around to cleaning your pads and emptying your litter bins and all that good stuff. So definitely for every handyman that you hire in this park, tell them not to mow the grass, or else that's all they're gonna do for the entire time. And you're gonna get your park rating is basically in a tank if you don't do that. So you definitely have to tell them to not mow the grass. So yeah. My rule of thumb is have about 5 pads for each handyman, so they cover a big enough area. And these pads are already looking pretty disgusting, so it's a good thing I've thrown some handymen down. $10 is too cheap apparently, so I'm gonna jack it up to 15. Throw another guy down. This will be his area. Don't mow the grass. Another one. Oh, another big thing about this park. It's your first park over water, and they already give you a bunch of pads over water and stuff like that. Main thing is you just kind of have to be careful when you're building paths over water to not have guests fall into water, because you can drown guests and they don't know how to swim. So just be careful when you're doing that. Like right here, if I had like either the land or the scenery or the water or the pads or any of those open, and I right clicked any of these pads while there were guests over it, they'll automatically drown. You can't even save them. So just be careful when you're constructing pads and deleting pads. And it's more often than not that you'll have like a ton of guests in your park, and you'll accidentally right click a path and there's like 5 guests standing over it, and you just killed 5 guests, which tanks your park rating. So basically just try to not do that, and you should be good. So and I think that's gonna do it. I think all my pads are covered. One way you can check, you can go in here, you can click this. Oops, I do that. And you can look at this is all the padding that is covered by my handyman right now. The only one that's going to be kind of hard to see is the underwater areas that are next to, or that have padding over them like that. But it looks like I did a pretty good job covering all the pads, so I think that's good. And your rides aren't going to break down as much in the first year, so you can get away with just having one mechanic doing all your inspections. But once you get more rides and you get into your later years, like your second and third year, you're going to want a lot more mechanics to cover all your rides and keep them fixed, because otherwise you'll have 2 or 3 rides breaking out at a time and one mechanic can't get to all of them. So yeah, there's not really any number of mechanics or any rule that goes with that. Just kind of use your discretion, and you should do fine. So that's all I'm going to do for now, and I'll check back in with you guys probably the start of next year when I have some more rides.